For the last 10 years or so, Environmental Monitoring Group, which is the NGO I work for, has been tracking the different level or the different quality of water services that you get as a citizen in Cape Town depending on where you live. If you are a household that cannot afford to pay for water, prior to the drought or no drought, there are many ways in which your water is restricted. If you're in debt on your water bill, the policy of the City of Cape Town, not to do with the drought, but to do with your debt, you get a water management device installed at your house. That's a little device that restricts the amount of water you can use on a daily basis. When you've used up your daily amount, there's no more water coming out of the tap. And we've documented many of the problems with this and many of the ways in which the rollout of these devices hasn't really been very fair or transparent. Ironically, all of the restrictions and the things that people were being asked to do to save water during the drought, poorer households who were already having their water use suppressed didn't really feel, at a household level, didn't really feel the restrictions. They were already living on that level of restriction. There were sort of negative impacts. So for example, many sort of community food gardens where people find a piece of land that's not being used and grow food, people there will often use, for example, a standpipe or some sort of publicly available water to water their food gardens. And under the drought, that kind of thing was no longer allowed. There are many small sort of informal businesses that rely on water. So for example, everyone loves to complain about car washes and how much water they waste, but that is one way that people are making a little bit of money. So obviously, with restrictions on water, something like a car wash or a hair salon, or even something like a creche where there's a lot of water needed for a lot of children, for keeping things clean and so on. All of those sorts of small businesses were impacted. So that's sort of what we observed. And then it never got to day zero, but there was a huge concern if they were going to cut off water to sort of all neighborhoods. That was the sort of threat with day zero, is that people would have to go to distribution points to collect water. That raised a huge number of questions about what do you do if you don't have your own transport? What do you do if you're taking time off from work to collect water? I'm sure the city was thinking about those things, but we never got to that point. But we were very worried about, if we're all having to collect water from a distribution point, how does that affect one differently depending on one's, access to resources and money?